democracy functions. And if we don't support the separation of powers and checks and balances, you're going to continue to see a president take power again and again and again. It started with his inaugural address, where he spoke in such an authoritative manner, trying to tell us that only he could solve the problems of America. And I think that we can say now that that's really not happening, is it? But again, he's been able to do this because overall, Republicans in Congress have allowed it to occur. So I'm here to talk about the importance of us rising up and joining organizations to call out this president for what he's doing. One of the things that's so concerning about what's happening right now is we have a president who is invoking a national emergency because his feelings were hurt. He was unable to get the funding that he wanted for the wall, despite the fact that the Republicans controlled both houses of Congress, and he was unable to match Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer in the negotiations after we opened up the government. And so, failing to achieve what he wanted through the regular democratic process, he declares a national emergency. So I think it's very important that we remind everybody that this is a vanity project for the president. And he supports it by lies, by misrepresenting facts, and by a manufactured crisis while he golfs at Mar-a-Lago. So it is very important that we look at this as the beginning of yet another, race towards giving the president more and more power, which is why it's so important that you're gathered here today to try to put a stop to it. And I think we have to do this in communities throughout the country, and I think with MoveOn.org we actually are. So I want to thank the people who put it together on a moment's notice. The fact that you're here to talk about it with us and to share your activism is a testament to how strongly you feel about these issues. So I want to end by doing what I think is important, which is a call to action, before I then honor another president, Abraham Lincoln, with a few more quotes on this President's Day. So the first is, after I posted how concerned I was about this emergency declaration, and I said we have to say enough, somebody rightly called me out for saying that's not enough. You need to do more in order to change the course of history. So my first call to action for all of you is to get out there and try to get as many people registered to vote as possible. This will only change when we get people involved, and one of the best ways to get involved is getting them registered. And we find out that when you register early and you enjoy the privilege of voting, that you will do it often. The second is to join some of the groups that are out there that are actively watching this president. Move On is one of them. We have Indivisibles in this community and others. There are political parties. You have to actually get involved to make a difference. And we saw that involvement speak volumes in November when the Democrats were able to take back the House of Representatives. So we know that the involvement will work. The third thing is to change the airlines so that they don't interrupt my very good speech. The third thing is to talk to people with whom you disagree with. I think we are all in agreement here about our concerns about this presidency, and in particular concerns about what we've called a blatant power grab. But the reality is there are people on both sides of the aisle that are as concerned about this in our communities. We may not agree on everything, and we may not agree on our opinion about this president, but many of them are very concerned about this power grab by this administration. So I think it's important that you reach beyond the group of like-minded people we enjoy spending time with to embrace others who may disagree with us, and to start those conversations so that you can find common values and shared goals. And that's why I started with a quote about patriotism, because patriotism isn't Republican or Democrat, it's American, and we all share that. Where I began, which is honoring our past presidents. I started with George Washington, a wonderful human being and one who was so humble in his residency in the great seat of President of the United States. Another one of my heroes is Abraham Lincoln, who was also honored on this day. And Abraham Lincoln also had some words that I'd like to share with you that I think resonate. He said, "Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties." James Madison said we have to take alarm when those liberties are being threatened, and I think that we've been doing that for the last 2 years, and hopefully this will give us a kick in the butt. But let me end on a lighter note, and I think a more encouraging note, with words from Lincoln. He said, "I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts." The great point is to bring them the real facts. I often said that truth matters and integrity matters when I was running for Congress to be your next representative. That is more relevant today than any other day. It is to talk about what the truth is and talk about facts. So when a crisis is manufactured by the president, we have to speak out and say enough, but we also have to counter the lies that are told from the White House and that are embraced by so many people in our country. And we want to beat those lies with actual truth. So take that with you, the words of Abraham Lincoln, and I leave you with that quote again: "I'm a firm believer in the people." The fact that you're here today talking about this very issue shows that the people can be trusted, we will be active, and we'll take our democracy back. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. I look forward to working on your next campaign again. Okay, we have received some comments from our senators, and let's see, Joyce and Mary.
What do you think of some of the Supreme Court rulings? Like,
Yeah, let's talk about it after. Can we do that?
okay.
This is from Senator Patty Lane. I'm horrified that the President of the United States declaring national emergency
Are you talking about like Citizens United?
Yeah, stuff like that. Also, what about like, what is that? The rights of filming and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not sure about the second one, but Citizens United, the excuse was that there had been a previous ruling in the Supreme Court that said that, they extended free speech. And the problem was kind of about, spending money for free speech. So what they theoretically, free speech is money from their point of view. And they had the little thing where you can add as much, you can spend as much as you want because it's free speech. But the problem was that they ignored the fact that even free speech, there are some limits on free speech, like you don't shout fire thither.
Right.
So, and they completely ignored that, and apparently Roberts wanted to go whole hog on that, or something. I think some of the other ones wanted to kind of make a more narrow ruling on it. But that has contributed to to the fact that people like the Koch brothers get to be heard more than you and me. Or before, when they had the limits of $2,600 per contribution. In California, what they've done is they require people who are spending money on a campaign to put it on their ads.
Yeah.
Invisible form. Washington, they kind of went halfway, and where it's on the thing, but you can't read it.
Okay. What do you think about the electoral college?
Electoral college? Well, it was originally done so they could get the Constitution passed in the small states. And it's outlived its use, but unfortunately you would have to amend the Constitution. It requires 75% of the states.
Yeah.
Plus it also requires it either requires Congress to pass it first, or they have a convention that writes it up and circulates it. And Congress has to call the convention, so we'll probably never get there because there are small states with it.
And another question I have, especially for her, because she's a constitutional lawyer.
She's not a constitutional lawyer. She teaches. Constitutional law.
Is the Second Amendment? The Second Amendment. Certain people have rights to the Second Amendment, and certain people do not.
Well, there are the Supreme Court has ruled the part where they have endured the part of a well-organized militia. And they said basically it's kind of calm that interpret the first part where everybody has a right to own a gun. But that wasn't what the original Congress intended.
No.
That was the reason that went in is because their experience with the British before the Revolution failed that was the reason that was added to the Constitution, because basically the military in the United States at that time was the militia. They did not have an standing army.
But the Supreme Court has ruled that the militia is the National Guard, and they're the ones that have the right to bear arms.
The most recent one has broadly interpreted the Second Amendment rather than narrowing like you and I think it should be. It's unfortunately the Supreme Court doesn't always rule. They kind of had their ear to the ground.
Yeah, I sort of disagree with California's or the Supreme Court's ruling on the 3 strikes laws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can't. But the way it's constituted now.
Yeah.
We're lucky Roberts has gone with the more progressive part on some of his rulings. We would have a lot of stuff changed, but can't do anything about that.
No.
Democracy is under attack. What do we do? When fake emergencies are declared, what do we do?
About it.
When the soldiers won't defend the Constitution,
They have a little bit
what do we
different
do?
Like the state constitutional law. What's the Mr. Constitutional
Power that is not his.
50 years
What do
ago.
we do?
Yeah. Well, see, I'm a firm believer in the Constitution, but I believe the Constitution should cover everyone. The amendments, your rights, should be for everyone, not just for certain people.
Well, the amendments are for everyone. But the problem is that there's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily reflect what the way the founding fathers meant.
But, okay, I'll dispute with you on that.
Yeah.
Be a convicted felon and go out hunting for deer and see what happens.
Yeah, well,
if
you're
you
not
get
allowed
caught.
to own guns
Right.
if you're convicted. That's something that was not. States are not necessarily. The Fifth Amendment gives the states certain rights to do things that the federal government can't do.
Yeah. But the federal government has already did that.
They're not the ones that only on, if you've been convicted of a state offense that's covered by the state. They make the rules. And unless it's something written in the Constitution that they says they can't do it, the state can do it.
Right.
So if the state says a convicted felon can't have a rifle or a handgun, the federal government does not, the Constitution does not have anything saying that they can't do that.
So you're saying state law supersedes Constitution?
No, state law takes effect what the Constitution does, the ruling of it. The Constitution does the same thing about the state control of firearms. So there's a thing where the right to own guns, the right to speech is not absolute. It's the same thing with the right to own guns. It cannot be interpreted as being absolute. That was written by an immigrant, by the way.
Yeah.
this group of people that came in, he was part of a group of people that ended up, which is why they put in the immigration rule, limitations. Because he was part of that group.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people in the United States objected to those people coming in. And my ancestors, my great-grandparents were part of that same group.
Yeah.
Came in.